Hey everyone, another video here in regards to the mess that's going on down in Charlottesville, Virginia. Wow, this kind of stuff, and I mean we all know, or those of us that have been paying attention for years now, we all have known that it was going to come to this point at some stage of the game. You know, this constant escalation, this constant sensationalization, this constant politicizing and divisiveness that's been put forth and presented by a lot of those in the establishment media, politicians, and pundits alike. I mean, you just know that this is what is going to be the consequence and the result. And we're not even to the point where you're going to see how far things can get. Oh, trust me, this is only the beginning. And there's lots of historical precedent to point out and put forth that will tell you that, hey, the evidence is there. If you want to ignore the evidence, if you want to close your eyes, right, and plug your ears and just sit back on the sidelines and pretend that it's all going to go away, well, like I say, watch and learn and see the consequences and the result of doing such. But here we go. I mean, and this is, before I even read from this headline article from the BBC, the thing that kills me the most when I have to talk about this stuff is the glaring hypocrisy from a lot of the people in the establishment media. Even some in the online and alternative media, but predominantly in the establishment media. The whole point, the whole reason why, as a journalist, you're supposed to be objective is to prevent this kind of escalation. If you're objective, you know, the minute you turn into subjective opinions, dialogues, or narrative, or anything that's ideologically driven, well, your opponents, right, those who oppose your particular ideology or your particular narrative, they're only going to feel emboldened, and you're going to cause more hatred and division, and it's going to cause that escalation. I mean, that's something that we all understand in our personal lives, our social lives, or political, or geographical, geopolitical. I mean, this is just reality, folks. Without being objective, without keeping your biases, you know, tucked in your back pocket and trying to at least be, you know, a referee of sorts, right? If you want to offer an opinion, at least offer something that critiques both sides or all sides of the divide. But if you choose to go one way or the other, well, like I said, the people on the opposing side are only going to feel emboldened to end, because they'll seem like they're oppressed or they're the victims, and they're going to want to lash out as a consequence, as a result. This is in reference to Charlottesville. Virginia governor tells white supremacists go home. And if you read through the article, which I'm not, I'm trying to keep this video fairly short, but it's all about, talk about white nationalists, and it's all vitriol spewed towards, and I mean, there are probably some bad dudes and women or whatever that are people that I would be completely opposing as far as their ideological, you know, right-winger and Nazism and bullshit. Of course. But when did you hear anyone in the media? Did BBC ever go to tell people that, like, Black Lives Matter or Antifa, go the fuck home, Antifa? You know, don't be protesting shit. Get the fuck home. Get off the streets and get your fuck. Did you hear that from BBC? Or Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter. Isn't that completely identity-based? Black Lives Matter. I mean, look at that Reggio, the Four Tenors. You know, when he just had the audacity, you know, while they were doing the national anthem, to say all lives matter. And look at the vitriol hatred that was spewed, especially by people in media towards him. He was just trying to be basically the referee and say, hey, all lives matter. But hey, did you hear anyone in the media, like I say, when the Black Lives Matter? And look at the kind of shit and rhetoric that a lot of these people put forward and present. And you can find the videos out there. They're everywhere. So it can't be denied. It's not like I'm making shit up. But did you hear any one of these media establishment outlets saying, hey, don't be fucking using identity politics to hate towards the white people. Go the fuck home. Right? Either you're about all lives matter, or you're about no lives matter, right? No, you've never seen such a thing. So we see the political bias. I mean, it's undeniable at this stage of the game by a lot of people. Not all. Like I say, there are exceptions to the norm, and there are people in the establishment media that are trying the best, but their voices, just like mine, are being squished and quelled and silenced to the point where it's barely a whisper in comparison and contrast to how loudly they're being put forth, presented, and promoted. And why? Because it makes for great sensationalism, makes for great clickbaits, makes for profitability. So this governor, yeah, what a fucking stupid thing this was to do. The best thing you could have done is say, hey, people from both sides, hey, you might have some legitimate grievances. You might have some legitimate grievances. Hey, how about instead of everybody go fuck home, how about, hey, we'll find some way. Listen, I'll tell you what, as the governor, I'll find a way that you all, hey, I'll create the venue, I'll create the platform, offer people that have the ability to speak on behalf of either side, and I'll allow you to set up a discussion and debate where we can hammer this stuff out and come to some semblance of understanding and reason, right? You're not seeing that, are you? You're not seeing that presented, put forth, and you go ahead, you look through the media outlets today and you tell me where you're seeing that. You're not seeing it. It's absent from the equation. It's absent from any of the conversations that are taking place or the narratives or dialogue being put forth, presented by a lot of these established media outlets. That shit pisses me the fuck off. I myself, like if I was in any position of power of authority, that's exactly what I would be doing. Be like, ho, 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 ho. You know, I'm not picking no sides here. Listen, we see that stuff is escalating at this point. We see tensions is escalating. We see hatred, division. It's getting divided and more and more. Like the division is getting wider and wider every day. My job, you know, if I was one of these people, would be, hey, I don't want this division to get any further. Instead of you fuckers going to your prospective corners, hey, use me as your soundboard. Use me as your intermediary, as your referee, and I'll do my best to remain objective, and I'll let you hammer out your ideas. And let's let the public opinion, but not manipulated public opinion, let's let the people that have heard things properly come to some determination of how things should go forth. Right? Doesn't that make sense to you? It sure does to me. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.